Howdy, hi campers. What you doing on a nice Friday night? It's day 5 of my core values challenge today. So hopefully all the brilliant participants will hop on this video soon. It's been a great week this week. Hi Moira, how are you, my lovely? Thank you for that link that you sent me today. It was brilliant. Let me know how you're doing. Hi Angela, how are you, love? Just let me know what you're up to. Give us a little emoji or let me know what you're doing, drinking, eating, anything fun. Hi Catherine. Are you all okay? But I wonder if you have gone out on a Friday night, and then I remembered no one can really go out anymore, can they? Friday nights never be the same. It's crazy, isn't it? Everything that's going on at the moment. I don't know about you, but you're probably going to hate me for saying this. I'm quite looking forward to winter, you know. Hi Marie. Hi Katie. Oh, I love the little wave. Yeah, you're probably going to hate me for saying this, but I'm quite looking forward to winter. I feel, you know, because of like lockdown, I feel like the summer has just lasted for ages because we've just obviously... Hi, Leslie. Yeah, and obviously you're staying in. Can't stay away. Tasks still done. Sorry, need your positivity. Ah, that's lovely, Angela. I've got my pink dress on for you tonight. Shall I show you? Got it from New Look. It's only £25. I've got a new little belt. I've got my necklace on. I have my gym gear on this afternoon, and I thought all week I've been saying to you is to take yourselves on a date and really listen to yourselves. And I thought tonight I'm going to treat all you gorgeous women like I'm on a date with you. Sadly, I can't see all your faces, but I just wanted to let you know that I am super excited to be here, and I've just loved you all. You've just been such a great group. I was chatting to someone the other day who's in the group, and they were like, you're so lucky, you've got like the nicest group. And I was like, I really am. I feel so blessed. All of you have just been so positive and just like, you know, even if you've missed a day, you've done what you can to catch up and that kind of stuff. So I feel really blessed and really grateful for all of your hard work. And I was having a little flick through some of the posts, and there's quite a lot of names. Hi Jane, you're right, Louise. Quite a few little names that have been like consistent or whatever, and I thought I'd like to give you all a little clap and a little well done. I am a bit worried in case I've accidentally missed anybody off, but if I say your name, can you do like a little whoop 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 whoop, or like a little clap for yourself? Because I feel like there's been like a lot of familiar names that have been like fairly consistent. So I'm going to start off with Jane Kelly. I won't clap for all of them, but if I say your name, I want you to clap for yourself. And I'm going to have to tick off as I go. Leslie D. Leslie. She was the first to answer one of the tasks the other day, and I totally forgot to congratulate her. Give yourself a little clap, my love. Catherine Rigby. You've been great. Rachel Heffy. Robin Lloyd. I don't think she's on tonight, but she's been pretty consistent. Joanne Moody, Lindsay Bly, Anika Hawkins. I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Hawkins, is it? It's a beautiful name, whatever it is. Marie Harrison. Give yourselves a whoop whoop. Angela Massey. Louise Cafera, or Cafera. Moira. Danny Rambos. Chrissy Nick. I think she told me that she's going to hop on the next challenge because she struggled on the last couple of days, but she was trying hard, bless her. Katie Hill, Chelsea Lindsay, and then Pauline Ambrose. And I do think there's other names that deserve a clap and a whoop whoop, but I never got a chance to go through every single post. So yeah. Yay, it's day 5, it's the closing party. And I just wanted to say another well done as well to Leslie and Catherine for commenting on today's post, telling me that you've done day 5. So before I move into the juicy information that I want to share with you tonight, I thought I'd take us on a little trip down memory lane and recap on the amazing work that you've done this week. Because even though it's like a free challenge, it's a really big commitment to say to yourself, I'm going to commit to something for 5 days. And although it may have only been an hour each day, like half an hour on the task and half an hour in the evening, the work that we do, that you've all done with me, it's quite emotional, and it's quite, it's almost like a bit of an upheaval, isn't it? So it's not for the faint-hearted. It is very, very brave of all of you to have had a go at this. And I've tried to make it as fun as I can where I can, because I don't want you to feel like, you know, in pain or like suffer in any way, shape or form. But as I explained, all growth does involve some growing pains. So if you remember on day 1, which is on Monday, I asked you to pick 20 core values. So I gave you a list of values to choose from or to create your own. And you picked 20, and that was the start. That was like, it's like opening Pandora's box. And then on day 2, yes, Moira, I've really felt the warmth in the group. You've all made my week so good. Yeah, it has been great, hasn't it, been on the lives? I always worry, I think, oh God, what if no one turns up? And I think, do you know what? I'm just going to trust all the right people will be there. I trust my energy, and I trust my life, and I trust the universe. The right people will hear me. And if they don't hear me on the live, they'll hear me on the catch up, because I always want to hope that I, you know, reach the right people for whatever it is that they're going through. So then on day 2, you did the really hard task of shortlisting it down. So when you did the scoring exercise of like scoring it from 1 to 10, and anything that was 7 and under, you put a line through it. I'm guessing that may have reduced it to around a 7. And then you had to cross it off, and then you'd have to drill it down to 5. Now I remember there being a really mixed bag of comments where some people found it quite easy, and it was a nice confirmation for them that they were already on the same page as what they were already thinking and feeling. And then there was other people who was just like, this is really hard. And although I'm happy that some people found it easy, I kind of like it when people find it hard, because they're the people I want to reach. They're the people that I want to kind of like, they're the ones that are going to get the most value, because it's like you're resetting the button. It's like, you know, when your computer starts playing up and you need to reboot it, it's like doing that. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's like what it's supposed to do. And then on day 3, you had a look at your lighthouses, like your 4 cornerstones of your life, and you as the ship, and to see where they line up and where they don't, and where the gaps are. And it was so you can then look at your world almost from like a bird's eye view of saying, where is the room for opportunity? Where is the room for growth? What do I need to fine tune, tweak, and start adjusting in order for you to come back home to yourself and start leading this values-led life where you feel fulfilled and content, and you've got the right people around you, and you're in the right workplace, or you've got the right business, and you're not hurting yourself, you're doing the right health habits, you're implementing the right decisions. And then on day 4, yesterday, what I wanted you to do was pick one goal per area, and then pick an action that you will take. So, you know, whatever your goal is, let's say, for example, it was, I'm going to start looking after me health a little bit more. And that one goal may have been finding a PT, or, you know, reducing your calorie intake, or finding a nutritionist, or whatever that may be. And then picking a date. So I'm actually going to take action on that on Monday. And then today, you were movie makers. Did you imagine you being like a director, like writing a script? You know, I hope that if you haven't had a go at doing it yet, and it feels a bit like, I don't know, like you've got resistance towards it, just have a little go. Pretend you're doing it with one of your kids, you know, just have a little go. You've got nothing to lose. Even if you're like, there's just no way this goal's going to happen, you know, you just don't know until you take action, until you look at it, until you have a stab at it. So just having a little go of like, if that one of those goals was to have come true, what would it have been like if you'd have played it out like in a film in your mind, like a movie? Now, when I'm with my clients and I do NLP exercises, we do this in loads of different ways. We can almost kind of close our eyes and imagine watching it on a cinema screen. So you could even be like a third person then watching it, or you can be in it, you can be in the film, you know, and then you'd be like, who's there? What can you see? What can you smell? What are you touching? What are you saying? What are you feeling? And activating all of those senses and just really experiencing it. And you remember what I said about when you play something out in your mind, your body doesn't know what's real and what's not, and it responds accordingly. So we did the lemon exercise yesterday, do you remember? And I said, imagine sucking into the lemon, and it was like the same thing happened. You know, when you're watching a film and you see somebody standing on the edge of a cliff, you go like that, don't you? Of course, even though we're only watching the film, the body goes through the same sensations. So it's like using that to your advantage of playing out all of your goals that you want to have happen in a little movie and experiencing all that joy and turning yourself into this magnetic field of joy, you know, like feeling like has anybody heard of the analogy that they use for describing the law of attraction? Well, there's a delay. I'm probably not going to get your answer in time. I'm just going to say it anyway. So the law of attraction, there's a film out called The Secret. Some people hate it, some people don't. I think there's a lot of real good things in it, and there's some things in it that you're like, okay, it does seem a bit materialistic. But in a nutshell, what they're saying is, what they're describing is, if you imagine yourself like a magnet, and when you're in a low mood or a low emotion, you're almost vibrating a lower magnetic frequency. But when you're in a higher mood, like in a state of love and abundance, and I already changed some bad habits this week. Yes, Katie, love it. When you're in a higher frequency, your body responds and you emit like a different kind of like wave off you. So when you become mindful of that and you start choosing better thoughts, to have better emotions, to give off a different vibration, you do become like a you know, like I was saying, like a radio that gives off all of these radio waves. And like whatever you tune your radio into, it picks up rock, greatest hits, Radio 1, classical, you know, whatever station you tune in, and you're like that. So you can tune in what frequency you wanna give off by choosing better thoughts, choosing better emotions. So even if you're feeling like shit, by tuning in on something that you're grateful for. So the most powerful frequency that you can possibly feel is love and gratitude. So my cat, bless him, you met him yesterday. He just makes me like vibrate so much love. Like I just love him so much. Like if I'm in a bad mood and I just pick him up and I'm cradling him, like after a few minutes, I just instantly feel better. I think animals do that to us quite a lot anyway, don't they? But if you're feeling in a really, really low frequency and you feel like it's okay to try and, you know, adjust it. And when I say you feel like it's okay, if you're in a genuine state of depression, obviously that's a little bit different. You might be needing to really listen to your body of like what's going on. But if it's just a case of you're feeling a bit pissed off and you want to alter your frequency, think about all the things that you have. Like, what do I have? Not what don't I have? So it's like energy goes where it flows. So if you're flowing it towards what's missing, you'll get more of what's missing. If you're flowing it towards the bad qualities in somebody, you'll get more of those qualities. Faults, whatever you want to call them. But if you focus on everything that you have, you'll get more of it. So it's just noticing that, you know, you have the power over altering that frequency. Now, I said today, didn't I, on the post that went out at 6:30, I was going to give you some tips tonight, some self-love tips and some tips towards work and towards your goal. But before I moved on to that, I wanted to give you a little task. It's dead easy. So what I was thinking is now you know your 5 core values, I want you to give them a nickname that sums up all 5. So even if you're not 100% sure if you've got the right ones, I want you to stick with them for the next month. and I want you to start testing them against the 4 cornerstones of your life. And by the end of whatever 4 weeks is from now, you'll know whether you need to change them or not. But I want you to call them something. Now, I've got some examples that I'm going to throw out there. And if you like one of them, you know, take it, put it in the comments and say, I'm going to use that. But if it sparks an idea, it's better to have your own, because it's coming from your heart and it's coming from your wisdom. So you could call them your North Star. So that's basically like, you know, when you're gravitating and steering your directions and decision making and direction, you could think of your core values like your North Star. So that's one option. Maybe your guiding sun. You could call them your truth. I call them my inner GPS. And you'll see I've got that in a lot of my marketing material. So I think, so when I'm a little bit unsure or I'm flustered or I'm overwhelmed and I've got stuff going on, it's like beep, beep, pushing it on, turning on my GPS. Which way do I want to go? Because my core values is going to drive that. Or you just call them your wiser self. Now, they're just like 5 different things to play with. So if any of them, you thought, oh, I'd quite like that, you can have it. If not, think of your own. And then just, or what you could do is think of an acronym. Excuse me. Like write all 5 down and think of the first letter of them all. See if you can come up with a word. My inside out. Yes! I love that. That sounds similar to what we were talking about, wasn't it, on day 1 with my invisible self and my visible self. I like that. Like the film Inside Out. Do you know what? I've never seen it. Or have I? Is it a cartoon? I need to watch it. Hi, Lydia. Lydia's my little adventure buddy. So there's a little job for you to end with. How are we doing for time? Can't I talk? 20 minutes. I feel like I've only been talking to. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me today if the live videos were going to be anywhere, and I hadn't even thought of that, you know. So I've managed to put them all on YouTube. They probably won't make any sense to anyone else who's never done the challenge. But if you'd ever wanted to see to Disney. Oh, I have seen it. Or have I? Oh, my sister's told me about it. The Inside Out. Are they all blue? Anyway. Yeah, all my videos are now on YouTube if you want to if you want to recap on anything, because the group closes on Monday. So we've got about 10 minutes left and then I'm going to start wrapping up. So what I wanted to look at that I feel like would help you in terms of going away and living your life now outside this challenge. My new way of living. Nice, Marie. That's great. So I told you before, the kind of coaching that I do, I work with the present and I work with the future. I'm not trained or qualified to work with the past. Personally, I believe that that's a really, really powerful place to be. But I do understand there are some people who still need to keep visiting their past traumas in order to heal from them. Now, because of the training that I do, because of the coaching and mentoring that I do, I'm very, very big on looking at where you are now and looking at where you want to be and how are we going to get you there. So for the next 4 weeks, as you're trying out these core values with whatever label that you're going to give them, I want you to keep focusing on the present of what you've got and looking at your future. Because when you're thinking about like your present and then thinking about your future in a healthy way, not in an anxious way, but thinking about it as in like your desirables, your aspirations, your vision, what'll happen is you'll start to gain a little bit of like gravitas and a bit of momentum and a bit of like almost like turn on your engine, and you'll start moving more towards. So if there is anything from your past that's niggling you, hopefully there won't be much room left in your mind, because you're so busy being appreciative of everything you've got going on in the present and getting excited about things that are in the future. And it's like training a muscle. It's just practicing it and practicing it as a habit. And when you do it regularly, it just becomes more natural to you. Believe it or not, I'm actually quite highly strung and I have to practice it quite a lot. I did it loads through my training. So now I'm very good. So I'm quite, when I say highly strung, I'm like, I've got very little patience and I can get really intolerant. And I have to remind myself that that's a negative tendency of mine. And it's probably just a habit that I've picked up along the way and I've just gotten really good at it. And then I have to ask myself, what would I like to be instead? So then I focus on something else. And I think, well, I'd like to focus on being more patient and finding the value in every situation, even if that person's irritating me. So then I'll go, okay, so I shift my focus from giving heat to something that's annoying me to focusing on where's the value in this situation. And I always find it. And we do. If you choose to see it, it's there. So I'll encourage you, if you've got anything like that going on as well, like me. People assume I'm a life coach, that I'm like immune to problems and I'm immune to having bad days. I'm really not. I just practice things over and over again. You asked me in the questionnaire if it would have been more valuable to pay. Why didn't you ask people to pledge a donation? Oh, bless you. No, I won't ask for a donation. Thank you. But you know what I will ask for? I'd love a recommendation, because to me that's worth a lot more than money. Do you know what I mean? Because if it's honest and it's sincere and you've had a really, really good week, I'd love you to go onto my page on LinkedIn and on the recommendations part, recommend me. LinkedIn's my preferred platform. But if you're not on LinkedIn, just go to the Change Agent KD, that's my coaching page, and just put in that you'd recommend me. And when you're writing your review, it would be awesome if you could write about the specific details of the benefits that you've gained, because that's what will entice others to sign up. But yeah, put as much detail in there as you can. So yeah, thank you, Moira. That was a lovely little prompt, because I have got her on my list to ask you for that favour today. Yeah, and endorsements, recommendation, review, whatever you want to call it, would be hugely appreciated. So yeah, focusing on the present, what you have got, not what you haven't got, and then focusing on your dreams and your aspirations and your goals, and then moving towards them, and then practicing what you did today over and over again with your visualization, and remembering that the body gets to experience it even before it's happened. You turn into a magnetic radio frequency and you'll be emitting it. And do you know what? People will start to notice a change in you. You'll be like one of them people that like walks into a room and people will feel your presence before you'd even opened your mouth. And they'll be like, they'll almost gravitate towards you. Because when you're like this beacon of positive vibration, people want a slice of it. Do you know what I mean? And then it almost gets to the point where you have to protect your vibration, because people come to you and they're like, oh, and then you've just got to like make sure, you know, you're respectfully looking after yourself and yeah, inspiring people with being you. You know, I remember I said to you about not pushing your values onto anybody else. So I hope I haven't been too preachy this week, because that's not what I want. That would be like the last thing that I want. Is for me, it's always about do you the best you can do you, and everybody else will be inspired. Do you know what I mean? And then you encourage them to be them, the best that they can be them. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Oh, that was that one other tip as well for the goal. So when you're thinking about your goal, visualising it, experiencing it. Now, if you can, this is like so much easier said than done, is look at the beliefs that are serving the goal. So if you've got any negative underlying limiting beliefs that are holding you back from getting that goal, that needs looking at first. So whether you read a book or you get a coach, or, you know, you do the work on your own. Remember the questions that I asked yesterday? Oh, shit, I haven't got them to hand. But it was about, is it true? And usually limiting beliefs are never true. They're just ones that we've just made up. What can you replace that with, and how can you yank that out by the root? So tackling the limiting beliefs that's stopping you from achieving the goal, visualising it, and take action. Nothing's going to happen while you're sitting on your arse. You've got to take action. Then look at the language that you're using that's supporting and serving you reaching that goal. So, for example, I catch myself doing it all the time. I'm like, come on, Karen, swallow your own medicine. You teach this stuff. Pack it in. I don't like exercise, but I love being fit. I love being slim and I love feeling like that vitality. But I don't really like exercise. You know, there's some people who are just natural gym bunnies and they crave it. I'm not one of them people. So I have this like automatic kind of resistance whenever I go to the gym or I see my PT, and I have to tackle it all the time. So I catch myself saying things like, I'm awful at press ups. And it's like, it's well, of course you're gonna be, if you say it, you are. I'm not very good at that. I've never been like that. And it's just like every time you say something, you're just reinforcing it. So although it may be true, maybe I am awful at press ups, but if I can find a replacing language that's gonna help me overcome that, then what happens is you open up the like the breadth of opportunity that allows me to then become better at it. So I used to do CrossFit. I did CrossFit for about 9 months, and I used to get so anxious before every class because it's intense anyway, and I was clearly like the shittest in the class. I was always the person that, like, you know, when they had to partner up, no one wanted me. But I kept going. So I had to keep saying to myself before I'd go, I am getting stronger and stronger every day. I am getting better at this at each class. Each time I go, I improve. They are true statements. It might have only been a fraction, but I improved little bit by little bit by little bit. And then what happens is it's like your nervous system responds accordingly to what you're saying. So I follow David Goggins. I mean, he's like a machine, isn't he? He's not even real. But oh yeah, that's true. Someone said to me, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Do you know who said that? Henry Ford, who made Ford cars. Isn't that amazing? Louise, I know how that feels. I know. I've always been the same. Although I quite enjoy running. I quite like going for like a 5k or a 10k because there's no like pressure. Do you know what I mean? I can put my earphones in and I can just jog along. But the second you say to me, you've got to do that in half an hour, I go, and I just like freak out. Which is ironic because I'm trying to get into the Army Reserves, but I have failed the physical twice by like seconds as well. But I'm going to get there. I'm determined. So yeah, look at your language that's supporting you having that goal. And also as well, make sure you're monitoring the inner dialogue, the inner critic, like catch it because it's so sneaky, that little gremlin. Have you heard of the book, The Chimp Paradox by Steve Peters? Brilliant book, check it out. Okay, I am going to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. So I'm going to start moving on to some self-love. Now, self-love, I think, is quite, it's almost a bit taboo, really, isn't it? You know, it's like, especially in Liverpool, you hear people going, she loves herself here. Oh, if he was a chocolate button, he'd lick himself to death. It's quite a funny statement, isn't it? But it's almost like if you like yourself, you're really arrogant. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a fine line between being really arrogant and like, you know, narcissistic. But then, you know, somewhere in the middle, there's a really healthy place for self-love, because the person you are going to spend the most of your life with, all of your life with, is you. So you've got to like you. You know what I mean? It's like being in a relationship with a partner for the whole of your life and never really liking them. How uncomfortable is that going to be? So it begins with falling in love with who you are. And I've said a few times this week, haven't I? It's like, take yourself on a date, really listen to yourself. What are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs? What gets you excited? What makes you feel powerful? What makes you feel listened to, understood? What gets you excited? You know, really, really come back down to reminding yourself of all the things that are you know, and get to exercise all of those things as much as you can. Does anyone follow Oprah Winfrey? Because she's really good with self-love. I quite like Oprah. So I've got a link actually that I was having a little look at before, where she's got like 10 top tips for self-love. So I'll post the link on this live if you want. Some of them are all really obvious, but you know, it's nice to get reminded every now and then, isn't it? So I printed off this little poster and I'm just going to go through them and then I'm going to expand on them. But I've got some of my own in here as well. So I think the first place to start with self-love is forgiving yourself for anything that you think you need to forgive yourself for. Because I think a lot of us feel guilty over things that maybe either we shouldn't feel guilty for, whether it's even things to ourselves. And it's like an anchor on your foot. Like it's just gonna weigh you down. So it's like, make a list of everything that you want to forgive yourself for, and do whatever exercise there is. If you Google it, there's probably loads of different things. You know, it could be like putting it on a balloon and letting go of a balloon, or, you know, safely having a little metal pot and setting fire to it. But just releasing all of the things that you need to forgive yourself for, because that's going to hugely have like an energy block release. So that's one thing. And then another thing is, as well as forgiving others. Now, it's hard when you feel like you're being wronged, but it's like drinking a cup of poison because you want to hurt the person that's done you wrong. So we've all been hurt. We've all been, you know, fudged over. You know, but it's in order for you to meet the future that you want, you've got to kind of like release all of these blocks that are getting in the way. And whilst you won't forgive someone, it's like it's taken up energy within your brain. It doesn't mean that you condone what they've done, whatever it is that they've done. It just means that you chose not to let it occupy your brain and your heart any longer. So forgive yourself, forgive others, and then move on to the gratitude. So looking at yourself and thinking about all the things that you've done over your life and creating like a victory list. I did this not so long ago. So although I'm quite confident and I do consider myself somebody who's got quite stable self-esteem, I never used to. It used to be all over the place. But I still have little confidence crises every now and then, especially because I'm always taking on new challenges. Whenever I get asked to go and speak on a stage, I literally feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. And I have to remind myself that I'm actually worthy to get on the stage, and I've got good information to share. So I've got a victory list. And I've just wrote everything, all like little daft things like, but it felt good at the time. So I worked in a restaurant in Tenerife and they had a ranking system and it was like 20 waitresses because it was huge. It was like Planet Hollywood. But you had to get into the top 10 in order to get all the best sections and the best shifts. And I got to number 1. And it was such a big achievement at the time. And it was like 24 years ago. I put that on my victory list. So go back over your life and think about all the things that felt good when you'd achieved it, even if it was winning a potato sack race when you were at school. Something like, and just build on it. And every time you're building on it, you can spend weeks doing this. Feel all the good feelings. Oh, have you? Oh, thanks, Maria. I didn't know you'd seen me. Was it at St. George's Hall? Yeah, so make your victory list and when you write it down, just spend a few minutes like basking in the feeling of it and just remind yourself, you know, you've come all this way, you know, you beat all the other little sperms into your mum. It's probably a really bad example, but you've got fire, you know what I mean? So make a victory list. So that would be one of the next things, and getting to know yourself. So they were mine. Right, I'm going to read out Oprah's to you. So here, number 1 is taking responsibility for your life. Jack Canfield says this as well, and it's such a big statement to say, but what it means is by taking full responsibility of your life, it's saying, right, so from this day forth, I am going to make decisions for you. And by taking full responsibility from your life, if you feel like a victim, it will take you out of feeling like a victim and going into victor and going forward. Empowered Women Collective. Yeah. So it's about taking responsibility and snapping out of feeling a victim and going into victor mode and going from this day forth, I am fully responsible for me and I'm responsible for how I feel and going forward. Number 2, believe in yourself. So where you are in your life right now is based on what you believe in yourself. So when you start having more self-belief, you will have more of the things that you want. whether it's like having a different relationship or having a better type of job or having more money, having different types of friends. It's noticing that every single thing in your life right now is a result of your decision making. So making better decisions going forward shows that you have more belief in yourself, and you've already started the process by unearthing your core values. So you've already got the engine running on that. Number 3, there are no mistakes. So even if you feel like you've made mistakes, they're not, they're just learnings. Number 4, meditate daily. There's an app that I'd like to recommend called Insight Timer. It's free and it's brilliant. There's loads and loads of different like free things in there. There are ones that you can pay for, but I don't. I just use all the freebies. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's ones in there that just have like inspirational talks. There's some that just feel so spiritual, and then there's others that are just really practical, like a meditation on a powerful morning, or a meditation on getting ready for bed and having a dead good sleep. They're my words, not the app. So try and meditate daily. If meditation, oh, you love that app, Louise, it's good, isn't it? If meditation isn't something that comes natural to you, just think of it like checking in with yourself, and just going in and checking in with your heart and your soul, and having a little mini date with yourself, and just improving that self-love. Because the more time you spend with yourself, the more you'll start to really like yourself. If you're one of these people that just has to fill every single second with you know, you can't have any space, you can't sit on your own, it might be a sign that you need to improve the relationship you've got with yourself. It might just mean that you just like being busy. But I just know some people that could, you know, the thought of going for a walk on their own is just like, you know, they'd really hate it. They always have to be with somebody, or they've always got to have the earphones in or whatever. Number 5, take care of yourself. Goes without saying, doesn't it? Eat well. Put nourishing food into your drink. Drink lots of water. Be around. Remember that the vibe attracts your tribe. Number 6, go within and connect. And you do that through your meditation, don't you? Number 7, focus on what you've got to be grateful for. Said that before, didn't I? Focus on what you've got, not what you haven't got. 8, be the master of your life. Well, you already are now, aren't you? Because you've got your core 5 values. Number 9, keep your vibration high. I said that. And number 10, it begins and ends with you. So no matter what shitty things have happened to you throughout your life, from this day forward, it's now your director of your movie, and it all begins and ends with you. So and just keep moving forward. Do you want me to share the link on this on the post? Oh, I feel like I've missed a good little conversation there. It's going on my CV. Paid, love that app. Yeah, great. So I'm probably going to start wrapping up soon, guys, but I just wanted to say, Anna, hi Anna. It's been absolutely amazing having you on the Core Values Challenge this week. It's flown by. There is another one coming up from the 16th to the 20th of November. It's free, as always, and I'd love you to tell everybody about it, your friends, your families, your colleagues. Get them all signed up for it. It'll be a repeat of this, what you've gone through this week. And yeah, if you don't mind writing me a review on LinkedIn or Facebook, I would be immensely grateful. And I've still got some free slots next week for any phone calls that anybody wants to have with me to discuss any coaching packages. There's going to be another post. No, there isn't. There's an email going out tonight. So just reply back and let me know if you want to book in. But yeah, once again, thank you so much. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And thank you.